first to follow up to your op-ed in the New York Times about
Mhm.
technology, the opportunities around video conferencing and other things. So give us your thoughts about the impact so far on technology, both in conferencing and then some of the bigger players.
Well, I think it's interesting. I think it's great. It's a great. I hate to say it's a great brand opportunity for Zoom, which is doing better than Skype and also Google Hangouts, which is interesting. So it's sort of like Spotify, and people like it better than they do the big players. But they're still both of them are all of them are growing quite heavily. I think it's super interesting. I think the question is these valuations that are on companies like Zoom are kind of crazy. Like they're actually crazy in terms of finances and compared to where their business is. And the question is, will people continue to do this? I mean, there will be an over for this, and it's not a year from now, it's a couple months. And so the question is, will people get used to using this and like it better, or will they just have used it and then sort of put it aside and go back to their normal way? I think there'll be slight uptakes in the usage of work from home, but not enormous. I think people are not going to love this experience of working from home compared to a nicer way to have done it.
And Kara, let me ask you about this whole issue of misinformation. It
Hmm.
seems that Facebook seems to be doing a pretty good job at it, but
Yeah.
what are your thoughts about how they're doing, how other social networks are doing, and maybe the implications that this might have perhaps for.
Well, it shows they can be editors, can't they? Shows they are actually capable of it. It shows that they can control these things. And of course they can. They always could. I was just on a HBO special where I said, of course they can do this. They just aren't doing it. And so now this shows that when it comes to a crisis or something, easier to for the public to swallow rather than political advertising, they can certainly fix it and do a great job. They can monitor their platforms. They can control their platforms. They can make sure that people get great information, because this time it really matters, but it matters all the other times. Let me just say, it matters when we have our political discourse poisoned. It matters when we have hate speech on there and our society is poisoned. So it just shows that they can do it. Now, secondly, I think they're going to emerge pretty well from this, because I think not Wall Street, but both Wall Street and politicians aren't going to have a stomach to go after these tech giants as much as they did before the crisis. And so I think that's one thing you have to think about, is that there was a lot of momentum growing for antitrust or fines or laws and things like that. And I think that's going to take a backseat to repairing the country. So in this way, they've gotten a breather on some of the pressure that was being brought to bear on them slowly.
And finally, just as a news organization, Vox is doing a lot of great
Mm-hmm.
work. Everyone's working overtime.
Mm-hmm.
Some questions about sort of the opportunities around news. There's also challenges with blacklisting of coronavirus from
Mm-hmm.
sites, but yet there's a lot of work being done. What are the opportunities for the news brands right now, the digital news brands?
I think they're going to get hit. This is a terrible time. I mean, I think everyone's going to have to do furloughs and layoffs, and I think it's already it was a difficult business, and now it's going to be it wasn't as easy as the rest of digital media is still hard, and so you have to have other streams of revenue. And of course, we have events, but we had to move our event. We'll still make money on it this year, hopefully, but it certainly it puts a lot of these digital companies in a really tight position if they don't have enough money, and in terms, especially around advertising. Now, there's certain bright spots. We were selling more podcast ads than ever because this is a medium people like and is growing. And so I don't think, you should pull away from things that are clearly we're doing well before, but I think you're going to see a rethinking of stuff that wasn't working so well, and less experimentation, and sort of a doubling down on what's valuable.